Your ethanol business, if Ted Cruz gets in, will be wiped out within 6 months to a year. It's going to be gone. It's going to be gone. And as you know, the ethanol folks, like Trump, I've been consistent, I've been solid, and I'm a supporter, and I always will be a supporter.
Donald Trump and others opposing Ted Cruz in Iowa did their level-headed, at least we believe it was level-headed, best to hammer away at Cruz and his stand on ethanol, claiming that his refusal to stand for anything and everything on ethanol would be a death knell in corn country. They gambled and failed. And with no disrespect to the people of Iowa and other corn-producing belts across this country, more than a few people would like to know why all the hubbub about corn and ethanol, and why should anybody who doesn't have a corn farm care? You see, it's all about fuel, the thing you need for your vehicle. Therein lies the reason we call on the nationally syndicated master of all that is automotive and on wheels, who delivers the goods and hands out partisan parking tickets all along the way for those who are the car coach, Lauren Fix. And by the way, young lady, a very happy birthday on this day. Let me begin there.
Oh, thank you for noting that. I appreciate it.
That's quite all right. 29 never looked so good. I will tell you that. We've known each other long enough that I can say that with no wink of the eye whatsoever. All right, let's get down to ethanol here, because we keep hearing about cars, ethanol, fuel. Lauren, explain this, if you will, just briefly to people, why they need to care about ethanol.
All right, here's the nutshell version. When you go to pump gas at your local gas station, there is 10% ethanol and 90% fossil fuels. And when you hear oil, when you're talking about the price of gasoline or oil. So now when you think about that, the problem is that ethanol mix. There are some zero ethanol stations. You have to go look for them. You actually have to go to zeroethanol.com to find it. So what does that do? Well, here's the story with ethanol. It is corn-based. And just to give you an idea, it takes 7 bushels of corn to make 1 gallon of ethanol. Ethanol is highly corrosive, and it's blended in with gasoline because some genius government official said, here's a great way to save on the price of gasoline. We'll lower the price of gasoline to consumers by adding ethanol. So what they do is they give the farmers corn subsidies. In other words, they give them money to, instead of producing oats and grains and vegetables, they're going to produce corn. Hence, you'll note that the cost of everything else in your grocery store has gone up. So now you're getting money and you're producing corn and you live in Iowa. That's awesome if you produce corn. However, they've built tons of ethanol plants that are sitting totally stagnant because this current administration just decided that we have 5 or 6 plants, at least in Iowa, that are literally, no one's ever worked there. They've never been used. They're just built and sitting there waiting. So now we add this ethanol to the gasoline. How does it affect you as the consumer? This is the key thing. It destroys your vehicle. Did you ever notice you get a check engine light, you take it to your favorite mechanic, and they're like, I can't find out what's wrong with this car. It doesn't make any sense. And they're changing parts, mass airflow sensors. Well, you know what it is? It's the ethanol. It separates from the gasoline and it sits on the bottom of your gas tank and it gets absorbed into your engine before the fuel. So what does that mean? It wrecks your emission system. It wrecks your fuel system. And then when it gets to the gasoline that's left, believe it or not, it has less octane rating. So if you're supposed to run high test or even 87, you won't be. So what this all really means is you break this down is it's damage to your engine, your fuel system, and your emission system. And who pays for that? You pay for that. And so I've been fighting this all along because the federal government, especially the Obama administration, wants to increase that ethanol from 10% to 15%. And the auto industry as a whole, 9 auto manufacturers, which is pretty much all of them, have said, if you use a higher grade ethanol, if you use E85, E15, E being ethanol, grade in your engine, and your car is not a flex fuel vehicle, you void the warranty. Could you imagine buying a brand new vehicle, Ed? You put in the wrong gasoline?
No, but here's
no coverage?
Here's the end. I only got 20 seconds left then. In many ways, you explained it brilliantly, though. Ted Cruz had it right. Ethanol's not good for your automobile. End of story.
Right, I'm not promoting any particular candidate out there, but I will tell you, every single one in their stance, I'm saying you got to pay attention. You have to look, and I'm letting them know on Twitter. And that's where I love to let everybody know.
Yeah, we're not making this a political thing as to which candidate you're picking or not. And the people of Iowa will be very unhappy to hear this, but ethanol is not good for the vehicle. That is the bottom line. I want to remind everybody that if you want to learn more about this, as I said, Lauren's tweeting about it. Go to laurenfix.com. This is going to start a lot of arguments, and I have a feeling we're going to be back, and we're going to be dealing with this one more time. Again, Lady Fix,
never goes away.
a very happy birthday again. I look forward to talking to you next week. Take care. All right. Let's remind you that we do things to help your car and your intelligence politically. The Hardline continues.